actually took the exam more seriously. Initially, I did not. I was good in quants, I was good in VARC, I was decent enough in DILR. So I just finished the syllabus, but I didn't really practice a lot and I didn't put in the requisite hard work that is necessary to perform well in an exam like CAT. The result was that in CAT 23 I scored 80 percentile, and after putting in the effort, I started putting in the hard work, I started really grinding, started understanding what nuances are there, even though I knew them a lot. And I was finally able to get 99.35 percentile in CAT 24.
For me, talking about mental shift, during CAT 23, I used to be scared a lot of what would happen if I don't score enough, what would happen if I get an average percentile. And eventually my panic got to me. On the D-Day, while giving the actual exam, I panicked during every section, and as a result I got only 65 percentile. So for my second attempt, I make sure that this time I won't care what my percentile are, because I realized that my percentile does not define me, and certainly that was the belief that I had. And I also started putting in more hours, of course. That is non-negotiable for every aspirant. You need to put in certain hours. For example, it was a non-negotiable thing for me to do 4 DILR sets every day, 4 RCs every day, and apart from that, I also focused on QA section according to my strengths and weaknesses. So that was the shift that I went through.
I had a specific mock giving strategy for VARC specifically. When I used to give a mock, somebody would either do all the RCs, then go to VA, or do all the VA, or then go to RCs. I realized that my brain is such that it needs a little bit of time to process. So to do that, I used to set a time limit for myself that in the first 5 minutes I'll solve VA and then I'll go to RC, no matter how many questions I'm able to solve in VA. More often than not, in 5 minutes I would solve around 6 and then go to RC. And that really helped me kind of get a very good percentile in VARC. That was my maximum scoring. I got 99.68 if I'm not wrong. So that worked in my favor.
Talking about unconventional habits, I think one thing that worked for me was, before giving every mock, I made sure that I read one short article on any topic so that my brain starts functioning similar to what you said. And in that way, it doesn't have to arrive as a shock to my mental state that okay, suddenly you need to start answering a lot of questions. So that's what I used to do. I used to read a short article before giving every mock.
So I had a similar strategy just for quants, is that I used to just open the question paper, and the thing was, my practice was decent enough is that you could just see the question and know that you'll just need to apply one formula or some very regular kind of question that has come before, so you can use that to do it. And in DILR, of course, you just keep looking at the clock every minute or so. I had a weird strategy in VARC. For when I was solving VA, I'm a bit of an anxious person, so I tap my foot a lot. So somehow I would just count the number of times I'm tapping my foot. Once it would reach around 70, I would be like, okay, it has been a minute, now I need to go to another question. So that was something that I used to subconsciously do.
Interesting. So this is quite funny, because 1 week before the actual exam, I gave this mock and I just scored 50 percentile in that mock. So you can imagine the shivers I was going through. But then the first thing I did was, I hung out with my friends. I just went to a cafe, partied, and came back, recollected my thoughts, and I knew deep down that I have worked hard enough throughout the year so that I can score a great percentile on the D-Day. So, but just to make sure to boost my confidence, I gave one more mock 3 days before exam, and I got a 99.8 percentile in that mock. So that's how eventually I had my confidence high, and yeah.
Confidence boosted, no?
Yeah.
Something similar happened to me when I gave my last mock. I guess it was 4 days before the CAT exam. I had not given a mock for 2 weeks before that because I knew that I didn't want that pressure. And I think it was a bad tactic to do that, but thankfully it worked for me because I got 99.92 percentile in that particular mock. And I was so pumped up that afterwards, when I just went through the questions, I realized that they were the easiest questions I've ever faced in a mock. It worked in my favor. I went to give the CAT exam with a head held high. So that worked. And one more thing that I focused on was a bit of a stress. For stress busting, I used to listen to a lot of music. It really increased in the last week. So that's the only thing I did. I used to just listen to music and I used to just read books and all of that.
Same journey, same destination.
The biggest mistake that I have done is that I didn't CAT 23 was I took practice very lightly. I thought completing the syllabus was just enough for CAT, but it really is not. You need time-based practice. You need to put yourself in that situation, and after a point of time, you need to also know that this is the kind of question that I need to avoid, and this is the kind of question that I need to solve at urgency level when you're giving the CAT exam. And that only comes with practice. That comes with solving thousands and thousands of questions, which I did. So that is probably the one mistake that people make, that completing syllabus is enough, but it really is not. You really need time-based practice. You need to give yourself the time and strategy to adapt, because what kind of a paper might come in the exam, you never know. Like for example, in our time, para-jumpers got taken out, which were my strengths. So I had to deal with that. I was able to do because I had practiced enough kind of different questions that I could give that exam properly. So that's, I think, the important criteria is that practice is very important, and in my opinion, far more important than completing the syllabus.
Talking about mistakes, I'd like to point out two. The first is that the aspirants actually think that all the people who are registering for the CAT exam, whatever the number is, 3,30,000, whatever the odd number it might be, so the actual proportion of serious competitor is quite less. So you don't need to be overwhelmed by the number of people who are actually giving the exam. And the second thing is taking tension, or I should say panicking during the exam. Because if you are overconfident, in my opinion, that is fine at one point, but underconfidence is not okay at all. Because underconfidence will make your brain just go blank.
Adding on to that point, there is this series called How I Met Your Mother. And there is this line that he says that there is an architect who's trying to build a library, the best library in the world. He builds it, and after a year, the library starts sinking. He realized that he made the most beautiful library with the most beautiful architecture, but he forgot to account for the weight of the books. You'll do everything. You'll study quant, you'll study LRDI, you'll study VRs, you'll do time-based practice. But the most important thing you need to account for is to manage that stress on the D-Day level, which he did well, which I was able to do decently well. So that is one thing as well, that you need to manage your stress level on that particular day and be ready for whatever challenges it throws your way. So yeah. The last minute advice would be to really kind of have a chill mindset, really try and give not more than 30 minutes a day to just revise concepts, go through formulas. For example, the way that I studied in quants was specifically that I had no formulas in arithmetic or algebra. I used to study formulas for geometry, which are around, I think, 50-60 formulas. We had different theorems to solve questions. Just go through them once a day, solve one VRC section every day. And around 1 to 2 DILR sets, they kind of build concepts, and in the last leg, try to not solve new sets. Solve sets that you've already solved. Specifically try and target sets that have actually come in CAT past year paper which you've solved. So you get a better idea of what kind of sets might come, and even if they don't come, more often than not they are easier. You can actually build up your confidence that this is a set that was actually asked in CAT 2022 or 2023, and you'd be like, okay, if this gets repeated, I would be able to solve it. That's the best thing that you can do, and try and keep stress out of your system. I know it is easier said than done. I've been through that. But try and manage stress as best as you can. I also used to carry a bottle of water in the exam. You can keep sipping a bit of water, keep a calm mindset, and hopefully you'll do well. Best of luck.
From my side, pretty much the same actually, but if I have to add something, just be positive, especially in the last few days. You've done your hard work. You don't need to worry about a lot of things now. Just go through your formulas and have a chill mindset on the D day. Just be confident and give your level best in the exam. That's it.